I want to talk to you about the Paap, Punya and Almighty. So, what is bad deed, good deed, and the Lord Himself? How do you get out of the bad deeds, start doing good deeds, and go to this truth that is Almighty Lord? So, actions that pollute your mind are supposed to be bad. So you have your soul, you have nature around you, you have senses, sense perceptions, and if your senses and sense perception, which are established in the mind, they go into the nature and start creating that passion, and the passion increases, and there is a fire which is engulfing you now of desire. Then the bad is happening to you. You can call it as Paap. The sin. The sin is happening. What is the sin? That your soul is uncomfortable in this engagement. When the soul becomes uncomfortable, is this sin is happening. Right? Otherwise, there is nothing like good or bad. There is nothing like sin or punya or good deed. Right? But the moment your soul becomes uncomfortable, the sin is happening. You are doing some bad deed. So what do we really need to do? Right? The thing is that you need to get out of that sin. All the scriptures, all the religions have been saying that you need to get out of this. But the downside of this has been that people who are all the preachers, right, and the gurus and all, they have started telling you that you are a papi, you don't have the right to worship God. First you cleanse your mind, first you do this, first you do that, only then you become eligible to talk about God, seek God, etc. Which is where that negativity and the mindset that has come that I don't deserve to liberate myself, I cannot come out of this. And this actually induces some psychological disadvantage, and people get demotivated and depressed to get onto this path. So first thing is, you do a checkpoint as to when is your soul uncomfortable, for what all actions that you perform with the help of your mind and all the senses, sense perception, your soul becomes uncomfortable. That is actually identification of the sin. Okay, it's not going to be written in any book. It's not going to be someone who's going to be telling you as to what is sin. The sin has to be known by you. You identify that within yourself. So when you do that, Gita prescribes Niskama Karma Yoga. Means when you do action in the nature, it is to fulfill some desire. So Gita says that if you do Nishkama Karma Yoga, fruitless action, you don't desire for yourself, you desire for well-being of others, right? Thereby the good things will happen to you. That is Niskama Karma Yoga. You have a purpose, the purpose is pure, the intentions are good. When you do actions in order to meet that purpose, in order to go towards that mission and vision, that fruitless action will actually make you go away from this activity which actually feels like sin, which actually creates discomfort for your soul. So that is Nishkama Karma Yoga. Then they say that so it's not easy to do that. So what is the best way to do it? It is do bhakti. Bhakti means become one. Become one means what? You start seeing the reality and the truth beyond reality as one. That everything is unified, integrated. There is no duality. If you see someone separate from you, you will obviously have jealousy, you will have greed, you will have comparisons, you want to do better than them. All these things will come. It's because you don't see the ananya bhav, which is called as the integrated aspect of the existence. That everything has been made of the same fabric, everything has been created by the singularity. So there is nothing different. It's just that feeling that we have of separation is because of the ego. Ego is separating. They expand your ego to such an extent that it engulfs everything and everything appears to be one. That is the only way you can make good use of the ego. Otherwise, ego is creating all the problem for you. So this is one thing. So they say that, how do you get it? That you gain knowledge as per Bhagavad Gita, na hi jnanena sadrisam pavitram eha vidyate. To cleanse everything, the biggest purifying agent is knowledge. Knowledge is jnana. Jnana is, as per Bhagavad Gita, jnana is the knowledge of the God, ultimate. So that knowledge doesn't come under senses. That knowledge will not come into the brain. That knowledge is transcendental. Someone who is already there will impart that on you. If that knowledge is imparted on you, it will cleanse. Where does that knowledge get imparted? That knowledge gets imparted by someone in your breath. Okay? So from breath, you have actually acquired the capabilities in the mind. Mind had started wandering through the senses into the nature, and then it has become an irreversible process. Now you want to reverse this, understand this science that everything has begun with your breath. So let someone install that purity through your breath, or you go sit, meditate and cleanse your breath. See, the purity of the breath has never been mutilated. It has remained the same ever since you got into the embryo. So get into that breath, merge with that purity, and the cleansing will begin. Okay, that is called yajna. Yajna is the understanding and managing the breath itself, and then meditating into the breath naturally. No force. Don't force the breath in and out. Let it come naturally. All you need to do is that attend to your breath and observe the purity with which the breath flows in 4 stages. Sometimes, based on your pulse, it might be faster, slower, deeper, shallower, or whatever. Don't worry about it. Don't manage it. Let it flow naturally. It takes its own course, and based on your body condition, mind condition, it will keep on varying it. Let it happen, and that yajna will find its own form. That yajna, the flow of breath is called yajna. There is no yajna outside. There is no fire in which you have to pour something, ghee and samhita and all to really do yajna. The yajna happens in your breath. So do that to come out of this sinner activity. Sinner activity is activity through which your soul becomes uncomfortable. The soul becomes uncomfortable. What is soul? Basically, if your soul becomes comfortable, your mind will get tired. Your mind will get tired and it will like something, but then eventually it will not like the same thing. So that is when soul becomes uncomfortable. Okay? So see through your mind, but actually what is happening is that the soul is becoming uncomfortable. So this practice of yajna arthat karmano netra lokoyam karma bandhana, except for this yajna, which is management of your breath, observance of your breath, observing the purity, etc. Everything else that you do is all going to create the bondage in this world. All the activities that you do to fulfill your desires, to grow, get growth, do development, etc., is going to create some kind of problem for you, is going to give you ultimately some unhappiness and grief. So do something with which you will not get the grief, you will be ever happy, you will be in natural blissful state, is what is recommended in Bhagavad Gita. So in Arjuna actually is asking Krishna, Ath kena prayuktam papam charati purusha. Why does this soul, does this pap, why does it get involved into the activities that make the soul uncomfortable? Why is this doing it? So, and then it says, Anichanapi Varshneya Baladiva Niyojita. Even if I don't want, why am I doing it? I have understood that. So one is that, why is it doing it? The other is, now having known that what I am doing is not right, why am I getting drawn into it? So these are the 2 questions that he asked. And then he also, somewhere in Bhagavad Gita, is written that api chetasi papyabhya sarvebhya papakritama. So why is it that I do this papa, and then it is saying that sarvam jnanam plavenaiva brijanam santarishisi. But if you get the right knowledge, you will be able to come out of it. So then Krishna starts teaching Arjuna that Kama, Krodha, Tatha Lobha, Tasmat Etat Trayam Tajit. You have to eliminate the Kam. Eliminate means understand Kama, Krodha and Lobha, how they operate. Because they are the Dwara, the gateway to the Naraka. Naraka is the hell. They are the gateway to the hell. Trividham Narakasya Edam Dwaram Nasanam Atmanam. The Kama is desire, Krodha is anger, and Lobha is greed. So desire, anger and greed, these are the three things that will actually, they are the gateway to the hell. So he's saying, then Arjuna is asking, how do I manage that? He's saying, these three things, actually where they live, Indriyasyarthe. They live in the senses and the sense objects. Indriyasyarthe means Indriyasyarthe is object of senses, right? Indriyasyarthe raga dvesho vyavastha. There are two more things they are talking about. They actually are raga and dvesh, meaning something that you like, something that you don't like. Some people that you like, some people that you don't like. That you like will give you raga, which you don't like will give you desha. So three things were there that were desire, anger and greed. Then here comes likes and dislikes. All these things are, where do they live? They live in the mind actually. So you do more activities, there are more footprints of these things, these five things, and they live in there. So they are not living outside. You might see your senses, your eyes outside, but actually the center of these eyes, center of the skin, center of the smell, center of hearing, all these things are there, right there in the mind, deeper. In fact, all your existence, your body, the 5 layers, the 3 bodies, all of them, they actually exist in your mind, and they take forms based on your leftover desire. So you need to understand this. Is what is Arjuna saying, Krishna saying that to Arjuna, that you understand that they are all there in the mind. So then what is being told to him is that there are 3 ways that you manage this. One is, let things not come into your mind. You understand that these things are happening in your mind. So when you do sin, what do? First do it in the mind. Then you act of something, you do something, you might not go and harm someone. The sin is an action. You think about harming someone is there in the mind. You do it, then it is an action. Then you would also do it through your speech. You might say something which will hurt someone. That is also a sin. So, man, karma and vachan. These are the 3 ways you do this papa, right? So you do it in mind, you do it in action, and do it by saying to someone, right? So this is something that you got to overcome, is what Krishna says. And then ultimately he says not to worry about it. Why is saying apichetsu duracharo bhajate mam ananya bhag sadhureva samantavya samyak vyavasito isa. Even if you are a papi and durachari, that means if you are the biggest sinner, and if your behavior and if your conduct has been the worst, even if that is there, don't worry about it. If you have understood the integrated aspect of me, that everything is singular, God is one, and that is the only thing which is reflecting in everyone. If you have understood this, Chipram bhavati dharmatma, sadhureva samantavya samyak vyavasito isa. You can call him sadhu, because now he is in the path of liberation. He is going towards the soul. Okay? So, that's what is said over here in Bhagavad Gita. And also gives the confidence to Arjuna that why you can do it, why you will be able to do it, because your mind is beyond the senses. It is finer and larger than your senses, and your intellect is larger than your mind, and your soul is larger than everything. Soul has enclosed everything. Everything is there in the soul itself. The whole nature, entire nature and beyond nature, manifested and unmanifested as, is actually exists in the soul itself. So you will be able to order your intellect. Intellect will be able to order your mind, and mind will be able to actually stop the senses from getting into the activities which actually trouble the soul. So Krishna reminds Arjuna that this is where you stay, this is where your soul is. So it is all very much possible to do this. So that is why he said, when you get this knowledge, this will liberate you. Na hi jnanena sadrisam pavitram me vidyate tat tvayam yoga sansiddhim kalena atmani vindati. There is nothing compared to this knowledge of God, knowledge of your own soul, which is purer than this. And once you get this knowledge of God, your soul, right? When you get it, yoga sansiddhim, when your yoga is complete, when you completely unite with your soul, meaning the ultimate thing that you want, the only thing that you want is to be in the natural state of mind with your own soul. When you actually get to this, only then it happens. Yeah, yoga sansiddhim kalena atmani. So when the time comes, you will get to know through your soul, within your soul, that knowledge will appear in you. And that is when you will understand that this is not to be done, this is to be done. So the Paap and Punya, the sin and the good deed, and getting to the Lord, Paramatma, is actually not that difficult thing. It is very much easy. If someone calls you Papi, a sinner, discount it, is because you are made up of the same thing. The soul is same as Paramatman, as the God himself. So you are designed to liberate. The nature has served you with many dishes. You have been enjoying it. Now you got to understand that you can't overeat, you can't overdo. Time to go back to your own soul. When this stage comes, when this feeling comes, you will understand the sin, you will be able to liberate from it, you will do the good deeds, and finally the good and bad deed, all of these things will dissolve. What will remain is your soul. Your soul is the God. This is what Paap, Punya and Paramatma is.